understanding. It is my hope that you gain more insight into the unique experiences and perspectives of these particular girls, and also acknowledge that their stories are representative of members of our entire community. Today, they give voice to many others. For me, it has been a privilege to hear their perspectives, so please listen with open ears and open hearts. What are the challenges of being an international student at Westover?
Thank you so much for your question. I'll try to not be a snake, but I am a snake today. The biggest challenge that I face in Westover School is just being far away from my home and not being able to talk with them often. Thank you.
Oh wow. Hi. I think my biggest challenge of being an international student in general was the language barrier. That even though I studied English in Korea, I had hard times picking up the real conversational words or phrases, and people sometimes made fun of that. So yeah, that was my biggest challenge.
My biggest challenge being an international student at Westover was the SATs and the ACT prompts, because they were pretty based on American culture. I didn't know much about Major League Baseball and stuff like that. So.
My biggest challenge at Westover was probably the assumptions made that all international students don't speak English as their first language, or they have to take ESL, which in my case was very wrong, because my country, our first language is English, although we have other languages, but we mainly speak English, so I didn't have to take ESL, so yeah.
A challenge I was faced with was the different ways you guys view beauty, because at home, if I were to compliment you and say, oh, you look like you put on a few pounds, you looking good, girl. You guys would be like, thanks, Charlie, or some people at least. I feel like that's good, because you look really good and strong, healthy. So not that everyone wants to be really skinny. Some people just want to be, they look good.
Sorry, I forgot this one. But another challenge that I have also is my accent. I don't speak like how I'm speaking right now. If most people know how I speak how I speak back home. But in order for people to understand what I'm saying, it gets kind of frustrating when I have to repeat myself a lot. So I think a big challenge for me is the accent, how to try and change my accent in a sense to kind of fit in. So I think that's a big problem.
Thanks for sharing those challenges. There are certainly a number of rewards as well. So what are the rewards of being an international student here at Westover?
Thank you for asking that question. Well, the biggest reward and what I'm so grateful for being here is just the different perspective on your own country that you get being so far away from home. For example, I know that if I were in Russia right now, I wouldn't be watching the Olympics all the time, every night, and I wouldn't be so cheerful and crazy about our figure skaters that won gold and silver. Just mentioning that, and it's just great when you meet people who are from different countries, but they're really passionate about your culture and your country, and they show you that Dostoevsky is not really this boring guy who talks about self-destruction and the inner conflict all the time. Sorry, Mr. Hunger, but he is sometimes. And then like it just shows you how interesting it is, and makes you, it challenges you to look at your own culture differently. So I'm really grateful for that. That was one of the greatest rewards of being international here.
I rewards here is that sports, because like, you know, I only used to track, sometimes softball, but definitely not squash. I don't know, I never knew what that was. Polo, horses, lacrosse, field hockey. No, you don't have none of that. So, I mean, I never tried it here because I don't want to like break something or break myself. So, but it's good to watch y'all. Y'all good.
A reward of being an international student here is being exposed to different nationalities. Like back at home, we were just Africans. So here it's like we have Asians, we have Americans. So it's so I'm very grateful for having friends from all around the world. And yes, thank you.
Okay, I think the best part of being here is that you get fairly independent of what you're doing. Like, for example, at home, like your parents would tell you when to wake up and when to eat dinner or something. But here I get to like schedule my days in week and actually can being responsible for it. Yeah, that's the best part.
I think the rewards I got in Westover, I've been getting Westover, are how amazingly we do in sharing cultures and how we can bring like wonderful cultures together, such as through like colors festivals, when like each clubs make like probably some like cultural representative like food and the like sit down Lunar New Year sit down dinner we did. Yeah, that's the best part.
There are so many awards that I gained from Westover School, and thank you so much for welcoming me the first day I came. I arrived here, and your warm welcome really gave me the feeling that I'm not like somewhere new, especially Nadia, Crystal, Kate, and you all. The other thing that Westover School gave lots of opportunities to choose as a subject. There are different choices, and I'm not forced to. I have to take a specific subject. It's my choice. I choose it. And art, sport, different sports that I could play it or do it. I really appreciate that you guys respect my religion and the way I wear my dresses, the way I am. So basically being an international student is unique because beside of learning new things in here, in the meanwhile, in the same time, you teach different things. For example, my own culture, about the ideas I have, I share it with you guys. So thank you.
Thanks. What are some similarities or differences that you have found between your home cultures and that of the US or Connecticut or Westover?
The constant boy talk, because everyone's here is like, and the idea of one's personal life. Like here, everyone's really open about their like life. They're not afraid to express themselves. But like back home, you just kept quiet, even though it's a small country. Everyone knows everything about you, but just kept quiet. But here, just not afraid to express your feelings. And at first, I wasn't used to it because I was really like quiet. It's hard to believe I was really quiet. And here's someone laugh. And for example, like okay, how many of you guys have been to a sleepover here? Like show of hands. A sleepover. I've never been to a sleepover in my life, and the reason why is because, like for example, my parents let me have like as many friends over. Like they let me have people like have friends over, but I'm never allowed to go to people's house because go like to parties. But like I can have as many parties as I want, but I'm never like allowed to leave their sight. And just the way of like personal life, like the way people want to see the way she acts home, maybe it's the way she acts like outside of home. Like they don't want me to go like someone else's house and act crazy, and then they hear stuff about me. So like, yeah.
Okay, I think this is not the problem that only international students have, but I get a lot of pressure from home to be good and not cause trouble anytime. Because, you know, like, it's not cheap, to be honest, to be here, and you would want to make the best out of it. And living in that constant pressure is what I also experienced in Korea. So I would say the pressure I get is a similarity to Korea and here.
Okay, differences, big difference. Okay, walk in the class, right? Hey, Lynn! No, you can't do that. No. You have to say, hi, Miss Kling, or good morning, Miss Kling, or something like that. You cannot be like, hey, Lynn. That's just don't work. You don't call people by their first name. No. And also, like raising your hand, you can't just be like, if some teacher asks questions in the class, you can't just be like, they won't see you. Have to raise your hand, like have it there, hold it however you need to hold it. Like it gotta be high, like, you know. And then like say Miss Polina, if she like walks in, because she's the head of school, into anyone's class or something, you stand up and you just be like, good morning, Miss Polina. Like that.
Start that right now.
Yeah. Like acknowledge she's higher than you are. She is in our studies. Anyway, yeah, but that's big difference. No, respect your elders.
One thing, food. The food here and back. Well, I'm not Tunisian, but like it's not that different. It's just I had to adapt because like I mean I eat potatoes back home, but like I come here and at first it just tastes weird. The milk is different. Cereal, same brand and everything, just tastes different. Everything tastes different, so like just adapt to the food was a big challenge, even though everything looked the same. So, yeah.
What do you wish those here at Westover knew about your home culture?
Well, about Russia, we're getting in so many troubles right now with the international community. The one thing that I was asked really often, and I don't think it's some sort of I never took it offensively, or I never thought, oh yeah, you're so stupid, you don't know that Russia's not communist today. Like, we call ourselves a democracy. I know, right? I know. Yeah, His Highness Vladimir Putin always talks about how democratic we are. And I just would like to and I've never really seen that in Westover. Never felt that from you guys. But just not judge people of the country they come from based on international decisions of the political elite of the country. Because if you look at Russia, like, we're all supposed to be quite, nasty, like based on what the government is doing right now. So they're just always like, even in such a big country or even a small country, always the government does not really reflect what the people of the country think. So that's just something that is important, I think.
I think what I really want people to know about my culture is just like traditions, like traditional stuff, such as like the traditional like Chinese costumes we wear, like the one called like Qi Pao for women example. It's like a one piece, really pretty like silk gowns, and like for especially for like Mandarin Chinese. And the other part, the big part for me is the food, the traditional Chinese food. So the Chinese food here, like in America, they're not really Chinese food. Like we don't fry like actually spring roll that way, and there's nothing called fortune cookie in China. And so if we have some chance, I really wish we can probably like gather in grandparents' apartment and probably cook some like real Chinese like Chinese way like dumplings and stuff.
I know that Afghanistan, at the moment, Afghanistan is usually in the media and newspaper all about the bad things that are happening in there, about the war, fighting, women's rights, all these things. But I wish you guys knew, and I'm in here to tell you about it, which I'm happy, that Afghanistan is not really all about war, fighting. Afghanistan is really beautiful. I wish you knew about the historical places, the beautiful beauty of Afghanistan, that it's a mountain country, and you knew more about the culture in there. That sometimes sometimes in Afghanistan, not sometimes, yes, sometimes. We don't eat with fork or spoon or knife. We use our hands. We don't use any chair or table. We sit on the ground. We use mats, pillows. It's really cozy sitting on the ground, as you're doing it now. But the difference is we have beautiful rugs and colorful rugs and pillows, so you can lie behind it. Yeah. And the way to dress up in there is different, as you saw me wearing it in the Afghan night.
One thing, something I wish people knew how to do was, first thing when people ask me where I'm from and I say Rwanda, the first thing that pops into their mind is like the 94 genocide. And I mean, I understand people want to know more about it, but there's a way of coming to talk about it because it's really touchy feeling and people can get emotional about it. So I just, I wish people would know that there's now, it's past. I mean, we're never gonna forget, but we move past it. And Rwanda's coming far ahead, everything, and just by Rwanda, I don't know which newspaper really mentioned it, but Rwanda's army is one of the most peaceful armies in the world right now, and there's just more behind, the 94 genocide, and we're going way ahead. Now you guys should come visit me sometime.
What do you wish those at home, or your family and friends in your home culture, knew more about American life? What do you find yourselves routinely explaining at home?
Well, when it comes to stereotypes, that's just one of those big things that's really hard to fight. You know, and in Russian, some of my friends always, when I tell them that I go to an American school, they always picture it as what do you call it, fat and intelligent McDonald's going and stuff like that. And it's really hard, actually in my time here, I've never met a person who would go under those criteria. You guys are so bright and beautiful, and it's really, no, but it's true, no, because, when it comes to stereotypes, it's such a, terrible simplification of what we are, really, as human beings. And also, I actually had a hard time explaining to everyone that not every single American is anti-Russia, anti-Russian, and, so that was just something I always had to talk about when I go back home.
It's pretty sad that my family thinks that living in America is very easy, and they don't realize that there is poverty here too. I see some homeless people around, and also they think all I do is shop and go to McDonald's, and I'm no. So basically, I just wish I could bring my family here and see how Americans have it rough too, and they have to work hard and to get what they want, basically.
Okay, this is the thing that I've always have been frustrated about, is that my parents, and I guess some of your parents, they barely understand what the level of the courses are here, and honestly, they don't care enough. But yeah, but that's what I constantly have to explain and make up for myself if I don't get good grades. And I wish Westover could do a better job on providing perspectives on how the courses are actually like, because you could end up in a classes that you didn't mean to, and that classes can turn out to be really hard. So I hope Westover could like provide more information about that so that like you could not just be judged by your solid grades.
It's hard going here. Strong was real.
No, like seriously, to go off with you said, like you have no idea. When you come from like somewhere else, they think that you come here and you're just supposed to be on top. Like if you don't get an A, you better bring that home. You better bring home an A. If you bring a B, where is the A? Like if you get an 89, why you couldn't get a 90? Why you couldn't get 100? They just expect you to be like, you went there for a reason. Like you don't need to be thinking about McDonald's or going shopping. You need to stay home and do your work. Like it's supposed to be easy. Like you're supposed to work for this. Like they don't know that it's like really hard. Like seriously, they just don't know. I wish they knew.
You've already touched on a number, but are there more stereotypes that you would like to debunk or demystify about your cultures?
Oh yeah. We don't go to the beach every day. We might live by the beach. The beach is pretty, but I mean, some people don't know how to swim. I know how to swim, but I mean, some people like they don't know how to swim, and like we do projects on the beach, but we don't like go there every day or like be like, oh, beach party, and like party all the time like that. We see it on Facebook. But like, all the time, that's only because I'm on vacation, but like they actually go to school and stuff. Yeah, because some people, when I first came here, they didn't think, they just thought it was a little island, you know, go there. Hoo-ha. I'm not fun. It ain't fun all the time. Sometimes scary.
There are some
the Queen's English, which is slightly different because we spell words differently, like color, like I think you guys spell it like C-O-L-O-R, and we back home we spell it C-O-L-O-U-R, and like certain words like gray, like you guys spell it with an E, we spell it with an A. So I think a challenge when I came here too was having to learn how to spell it like how you guys spell it in America. So when I had papers and stuff like that, I would spell it like differently, and it would be like, oh, that's not how to spell. I'd be like, no, I'm pretty sure like I learned this. So I think Westover is doing a very good job of being very supportive of international students, but I feel like if we are more sensitive about it, the English department and the peers, our peers, are more sensitive about grammatical errors because it is different and it's very hard to adjust to learning something new at a certain point of stage, which is basically like high school. So that's very difficult for us to have to learn it sometimes. And yeah, it's really challenging, and I just hope that everybody's more sensitive about it. But I think for the most part, Westover is doing a great job about that. So.
One thing I wish, well, Westover's doing, but I wish they could like do more to educate and inform our parents. Because sometimes, like if you're in the hospital, of course they'll tell your parents. If you get bad grades, they'll tell your parents. But like you get bad grades and your parents ask you why weren't you working hard, but you don't know the struggle I've been through, and like the times it's like a state. I woke up early in the morning to go study my closets, like so I wouldn't wake up my roommates. Like we go through so much, and if we come back with bad grades, you should understand why instead of just assuming you haven't been working, because we all put like efforts and cry sometimes. We all do cry. Stop looking at me like that. And then, so yeah, like just, and you know, like our parents, they should know more about the school and like the academic culture like here. Is even though like I was in the past American school in Tunis, like the courses are slightly are harder here, and they're really like they're just hard.
Okay, I think this sums up what we really are trying to say today, that I would like to see more understanding from people here, because for some people it takes a lot of time to adjust to what is normal in America, and people do need time to adjust during that time of transition. So I would like to see more forgiveness if we make mistakes in speech or at any circumstances. Thank you.
Well, even though I like to think of myself like that sometimes, but don't think that we're some sort of superheroes who like living in another country is such a big deal. It is sometimes, but every single one of you could be an international student in another school. Really, there's nothing, like, we're special here, but back home, I'm so normal and boring. I know it's hard to believe that. Just make an effort, really. Well, yeah, Kazi's not obviously, like most of us are. Like, we're really normal back then, and then we come here, and you guys are so welcoming, and like, you're celebrating how different we are. And we're really grateful for that. And just, like, ask questions. We're ready to answer them, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. So, yeah, Kazi?
Diversity Day. Diversity Day is March 18th. Come. You're all invited, so don't think that you are excluded if you are like not international or something. Like there was no invitation, it was open. So like everyone should come. I mean everyone's supposed to come. It's a day, yeah. If you're alive, be there.
It was a complete coincidence that today's chapel talk fits so nicely with this theme. So I would like to see a round of applause for Fiona and these girls for sharing so courageously. We have a few minutes for a few short, brilliant questions.
Anything.
If you don't want to ask a question now, feel free to ask a question later. But anyone have any comments or questions?
Anything.
Have a great day.
I have a comment. I think we did such a great job, guys. I really do. And we didn't drop a microphone once. And he was like, just don't drop a microphone. That's the main thing.
Oh, and I know someone's gonna ask me later. I have ridden a camel, and it's really you have trouble walking afterwards. And I've been to the desert. It's really fun, scary, and exciting. Yeah.
Julie.
I like your onesie.
It's a barb. But what's your favorite part about coming to America?
Oh, shopping here is so cheap. Like, no, because, like, the thing is, okay, some things are cheap, but, like, because, like, if you have, like, American shops back in Europe or back home, because it's, like, important, it's expensive, but since it's from here and you buy it here, it's cheap and, yeah.
I think, yeah, shopping is probably the best part because back home, we only have one mall and it's tiny. It's not even like Waterbury Mall, it's smaller. And I think there's only like 2 shops that like with clothes and like if you buy clothes from there, people are going to be walking the next second with the same clothes. So, I'm trying to look unique.
I can't really say that like I came to America because I came to Westover and I really haven't seen anything besides like NYU and JFK Airport. So basically Westover was my America for the last 4 years and thank you so much for that because I would live in this country forever really. And that's really what I wanted to say because I really haven't seen America that much but what you guys represented did a really good job so thank you.
Oh, the best part was just going crazy. When I came, I was just like crazy, like y'all freshmen don't know. Sophomores, y'all don't know. Like when I came, I was like trying to like, I had red hair. Like it was a lot. Like I was just happy to like be here, but like now I'm really different. Like y'all don't know.
The best thing about coming to America, I think, meeting American people. I did see American soldiers in Afghanistan, but I've never talked with them properly, and I've never been to their houses. I came here and I lived with my host family, which I really loved them, and I got my first Valentine card from them. To say Happy Valentine's Day, daughter. Yeah. And meeting you all guys in here and sharing my culture with you is just amazing. Thank you.
So you too can live abroad if you apply for exchange. Check your email. Let's have one more round of applause. Thank you.